Damon Martin, MMA Fighting here with Jessica I. A couple days after UFC on ESPN 10. I think I got that number correctly. Jess, how is everything out in Vegas?
It's great, man. It's definitely nice. I'm glad that I'm glad that the weather's nice. It helps making getting over a loss much better when the weather's beautiful.
Yeah. Now, I know they didn't bring you back for the post-fight presser after the fight, and, I know a lot of fighters, they like to, I won't say face the music, it's the wrong word, but, they like to answer questions. They're not hiding from the cameras. They're not hiding from the microphones, and I know you post on Instagram, so you just never got a chance to talk, so I wanted to talk to you about it. So here we sit a couple days after the fight. Kind of give me your thoughts on everything, how it played out on Saturday night.
Oh man, I obviously am a rush of emotions. There's obviously a lot. I'm highly disappointed that I didn't win. I'm highly disappointed by my performance. But I'm extremely, proud of Cynthia. Man, she showed up. She came. She did an incredible job, and I'm excited for the opportunity. The weight cut was terrible. I really, really, really tried hard. I can't pinpoint exactly what it was. I'm not feeding it all the bullshit everyone wants to say and everyone what they think they want to know. It definitely I didn't feel good going into the fight. I could definitely tell that I was shaky and a little bit reserved from it, but I mean, there's no excuse, like Cynthia did a great job. She was timing all my kicks. One of the things that she said to Eric, as soon as she got in the cage is that she was like, I heard everything you were saying, and I know your system. And she knows the Dwayne system, so which is what we use and what was been the new add to my training. So I did feel like she did a very good job of knowing what I was going to do.
Yeah. Did anything, in terms of obviously it ended up being a very wrestling heavy performance, which, she is a very good grappler. Did any of that surprise you, or was it just a matter of she just did a good job executing her game plan?
Yeah, she just did a great job executing her game plan. I didn't overthrow the right hand. She wasn't getting her takedowns from overthrown right hands. She was getting them from kicks that we were using and knees that we were throwing. So, that was a misjudgment on me and something that I, need to fix and something I should have made adjustments on the fly while I was there. But, she did a great job. She wasn't strong. I really thought Herb was going to hold us. I should have asked that in the back, but I thought that by neutralizing her when we were on the ground, we would get the stand-up and I could continue to beat her up like I was with my hands because I know my shots were hitting harder. I could see them. I could tell that my shots were harder than hers. Hers was, in that way. But again, I didn't put the pedal down. I definitely didn't do some of the things that I probably should have. But it's also the first time I've ever taken a short notice fight. I said I would never do it, and I did during probably one of the craziest times in the world. And to be honest, while everybody's criticizing me for the things I didn't do, I'm proud of me for the things I did do. So it's like I'm okay with it. I still got paid. I still was able to make some money. This is something I do for fun, and I won't let anything take that away from me. I enjoyed the good and the bad of the fight week.
Yeah. Kind of walk me.
That's what I can think of that,
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of walk me through, because obviously in a 5-round fight, you get, time between rounds and quarters. And you mentioned that Cynthia talked about after the fight that she recognized, some of the codes, some of the things your coaches were calling for because she knows that system. How was that working with the team? Do you feel like that played a factor into the fight, that she did know your coaches and she did know, what they were saying, what they were calling for during the fight? Again, not making excuses, but do you feel like that did help her in a way?
Yeah. Of course it did. Her corner didn't talk the entire time. They listened to my corner the entire time, and that's one of the things to take into consideration when you're fighting in these empty arenas. They heard everything, and Eric and Darren are very loud. And what normally would persuade the judge in a loud arena, is going to persuade him differently in a quiet arena. So I don't think it was a unanimous decision. I definitely thought it was a split. I felt like she won by the takedowns. Takedowns win fights. We have no regular judging system, so there's nothing like, even if I hit the person more times in the body or up and down and showcase, if she takes me down, so there's no judging system, right? Like, if I controlled the center, if we say, hey, controlling the center wins a fight, or takedowns win fight, like, there's all these different things. So it's like, I never really know what wins it, but this particular time, a takedown wins fight. If I had been roles reversed, I would have, like, if roles were reversed, I would have said the same thing, like, takedowns win fights, if that was me doing all the takedowns.
Yeah. Obviously, she mentioned your coaches, being very vocal, during the fight. And, listen, I understand, like, I've been in arenas where I think a loud crowd has influenced judging before when a fighter throws a big punch. Even when they miss it, the crowd reacting, I think that does play a part sometime. But what did you make of that whole situation? Because your coaches were very vocal, but I guess they're kind of supposed to be vocal, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's such a crazy freaking time. Who knows if it would have been different if we'd been in a big arena, and who knows if it would or wouldn't have, so like I to know that it could or couldn't, you know what I mean? We've seen it go both ways, and again, I think this time, like, she did her very best. She listened, and they listened to that, and kudos to them, man. Kudos to them. They did a good job.
Now, you mentioned, of course, the weight cut, that happened. And going into the fight, you were very confident about your weight. You felt good about it. Even on media day, you mentioned it. You felt good about it. Sometimes you can't explain exactly what went wrong, but was that just pretty much it? Did your body just shut down?
It's not like, I to be honest, like, I went into the cut, less than 10 pounds over. You know what I mean? So, like, I went into the cut being okay, you know what I mean? There wasn't anything, but like, I don't know. I've been the last couple of times, I'm getting to the last 2-3 pounds, and it's getting harder. And also, it didn't help that I took the fight on 3 weeks notice, and like that plays a difference in a lot of these things. You know what I mean? Making weight is hard. Nobody, like, I really don't, like, get offended by people who've never cut weight in their life and truly understand it. And I mean, I'm not a bad eater. I eat very clean even in my off season. Like, I'm not one of those people that eat fast foods and stuff like that. It's just a small couple pound difference. I did water load this time. I'm very proud of all the work that I did. So it's like, I don't really know. I don't know really where to put it on outside of it was 3 weeks notice. We did a really good job. It was a couple pounds off, and that's really it.
Yeah.
I pay for that. Regardless of what anybody else says, they pay us to make weight. That's why they take a part of our show money. The fighting is the fun part. So, like, for me, that I pay my dues where I have to. I really don't, like, it's not something I'm like, hey, man, I want to go out there and miss weight. Like, hey, I want to go give people a reason to say crappy things about me. Like, it's never the plan, you know what I mean? And we were on track. We really were. I really can't put exactly down what happened.
Yeah. After the fight, I'm sure you've seen it, Jess, in the aftermath of that, Cynthia said that she didn't buy that you were actually only 0.25 over. She felt like you held the towel and you were actually more over than 0.25 pounds. So I'll give you the open forum here. What exactly happened? What did you weigh? Like, what is your response to that accusation?
I weighed what I weighed and what everybody saw. Like, I'm not gonna go into arguing with a million people about things that they think that they saw or that this and that. Like, I'm just not gonna give anybody the fucking arguments that they want. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's seen what they've seen, and that's it. I'm not gonna go into, like, he said bullshit because nobody has anything else to talk about. The fight's over with. The weight's over with. Like, that's not, I'm not going to go into. I'm not going to fight with JoJo. I'm not going to fight with these people over minuscule shit that really doesn't mean anything. That really has nothing to do with them.
But you mentioned
really what it boils down to is Danny Rubenstein being shady and saying things he shouldn't be, and why he called my coach Eric Nixick apologizing. So, I mean, this goes down to more to managers in this sport being dirty and people in the industry talking. That's really what it is.
Yeah, and Danny,
the MMA world's small, and some of these managers manage a lot of people at the same gyms that are fighting each other and fighting people from the same area. Nobody has each other's back at all.
Yeah, and to be clear, Danny, for those who don't know, Danny Rubenstein is Cynthia's manager. Just to put that out there, make sure everyone understands that.
Yeah.
So that's where that's why you're not going to get in the back and forth. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And he called Eric Nixick yesterday to apologize and about the words that Cynthia and him said. So I mean, I'm gonna let those guys do it. I'm gonna let those guys duke it out because it says nothing. I just don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
It's stupid to argue with people over my weight, over money that I'm going to miss, over things that people don't understand. Like, I don't have the energy, let alone the time to even do it. And I'd much rather let people think what they want of me or say things. Like, it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Now, to that point, in the aftermath, because of the whole he said, she said thing, do you have any ill will towards Cynthia because of the way the whole thing played out, or do you just kind of move past it?
No, it's whatever. I mean, I don't care. Like, look, I loved fighting. I smiled throughout all that. I smiled afterwards. I had a good time. I had a good time fighting her. I had a great time. It was a fun fight. It was fun. I had fun. And I had enough fun that right now I can't wait to go do my grappling match this weekend and still have fun competing, even if it means that, I lost this past weekend and I never have any bad blood with these girls. That's why these girls try to start shit with me over like minuscule stuff, is because they're irrelevant. They have nothing else in life to pay attention to. Like Cynthia, I hope her nothing the best. I hope she goes on and takes on the division and does great things. I hope she goes back and beats JoJo just like she did the first time. You know what I mean? And maybe does something good for this sport. That's kind of always my mindset on all of this.
Yeah.
I'm not a hater. Fighting. The fighting is the part in the cage when we're in there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to go out there and bash all these people. There's enough hate going on in this world.
Yeah. And you mentioned there, I just want to make clear, so you're still grappling this weekend.
I am, of course, man. I still want to do that. Yeah, man. Like, that's even for me. Like, I do this for me. You know what I mean? Like, I took this fight for me. I accept this loss. It's for me. Like, this is just my life, like, and there's things that I like to do for fun. And I know that people support me no matter what. And some days it's a good day at the office and some days it's a bad day at the office.
Yeah.
In football, they don't quit playing just because they lost last weekend. They have another game the next weekend. Like, I'm an athlete. It just sucks how the fighting industry, is done, is that we're identified so much by win or loss that everyone's like, oh, well, you lost. Like, you never get to live for the next thing. They're always constantly comparing you to what you did before. You know what I mean? Or, like, what happened before. Like, I'm moving on with my life. Like, this is, like, on to the next thing. I'll get back to training in a week. Like, I'm going to grapple this weekend. Like, life still continues and still needs done. Like, it doesn't just stop because something didn't go my way. You know what I mean? Like, I wish the common MMA fan had that same kind of outlook on stuff.
Yeah. To that point, you mentioned you're grappling this weekend. Can I imagine that in a perfect world, you definitely want to get another fight or maybe even two in this year?
I don't know yet. Like, obviously, I don't know. I don't really know what I want to do right now. You know what I mean? Like, I love fighting. I love fighting a lot. Like, I really do. I had a blast fighting Cynthia. Like, it was fun to right? She did a great job. I love how, like, strategy she was on taking me down, and I loved some of my strikes that I was hitting on her because I know they hurt. But, like, to be honest, am I a rush to get back into the cage right now? Not really. You know what I mean? Like, I'm turning 34 this, summer. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to start exhausting some other things in my life. Like, maybe I'm going to start podcasting. Like, right now, fighting, I'd like to take a break from it. All I did during this pandemic was train and try to keep myself as honest as I possibly can. And to be honest, now that the world's opening up, I want to live a little.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you spent a lot of time, you basically built a home gym to get ready and stay ready for a fight. So I know you haven't had like a lot of just downtime during the quarantine.
Yeah, man, I want to come home and see Ohio. I want to come see my friends. I've been so busy the last year. I've had 3 fights in a year. almost since, being out here. Like I wouldn't mind taking the break, and unless it's something where I make good amount of money, I don't know that it's gonna get me off the couch. Obviously there was an incentive pay for me and Cynthia to take this main event, and that's what got me off the couch. You know what I mean? So unless something is gonna in MMA get me off the couch with a lot of money, I think there's a lot of other opportunities I can explore.
Yeah, and obviously, if you do want to fight, whenever that is, there's going to be a lot of options out there. Obviously, there's already the potential of a fight with JoJo Calderwood that could come down. You mentioned during the conference call, there's somebody out there that you're not a big fan of in the flyweight division, so there's options when you do want to fight again.
Yeah, of course. Like between Lauren Murphy and JoJo, I mean, they're like, I don't get them. I don't get how they want to act like these sweet women, but in all reality, they're ugly souled, and they talk about people. They go to Twitter to recruit people like they're bullies. Like, that's real life bullying. Like, that, as much as they want to sit there and be like, oh, I'm so nice and so sweet, like, you're real life bullies. Like, that's exactly what a bully is in definition, right? Like, if you have a problem or you didn't like something, you don't have to go to that. I don't go to, like, and I learned that myself. You know what I mean? Like, I've had to eat my own words by being a bully, and I have. Mary, I bullied Sarge and said things about her missing weight, and look, I miss weight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm noble enough. I'm better than those women. At least I say when I'm wrong, and I admit it.
Yeah, and to that point, you may not even know the answer to this question right now, but maybe you do. The future with fighting, do you still want to be a flyweight?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Oh God. I just can't walk over 140. I shouldn't be. I got over 140. Anytime I get over 140, my cut to 25 is terrible.
Yeah. Well, obviously you got the grappling match coming up this weekend. I'm sure you got other things going on, coming back home here to Ohio. So I'm sure you'll be ready to, there's always things to do, always things to go on. I'm sure you'll be ready for that whenever it comes.
Yeah. I'm not done fighting. You know what I mean? I just, I'd like to just train to have fun and see what else is out there in life, and again, help other people in this sport. So, I mean, we'll see what's next for Jessica. Listen, fighting is a very small portion of my life. There's so much more, and MMA is still so small in this world. There's so many things that are bigger, and I can be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jess, I really appreciate you doing this. Obviously, best of luck in the grappling match this weekend. I'll be watching Submission Underground. Obviously, Chael Sonnen's organization doing a great job out there, and I appreciate you taking the time for this, and I'm sure we will catch up very soon.
Yes, Jared. Thank you so much.